Okay, good morning. Let's reach up and greet the day. Up and over, up and over, and circle it out. And reverse. And let's bring our arms down. Let's start here. Inhale and reach out. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and come back. And reach out, cactus arms. See if you can feel your shoulders rolling back a little bit. And then notice also, if you're starting to do that, let's see if we can do it keeping our ribs stacked over our hips. And then let your arms swing down. It's a lot of tension to hold. Go down to our hips. We have a bunch of lower body work to do today. Get our hips nice and warm, legs and ankles nice and warm. And a lot of band work. And reverse. And figure eight. And reverse. It's funny, during the pandemic, there's that whole thing about parents working from home and the kids busting into their Zoom meetings. I must have a totally different demographic because I don't have kids busting into the Zoom meetings. I have dogs. Everybody has their dogs, which I think is fun, as long as you don't trip over them. Okay, and let's circle out the ankles. And make sure you go both ways. We're going to spend more time on our ankles. We don't have to spend a lot of time doing this. Of course, if it feels good, you can always come back and do this anytime. Let's prance it out. Rolling through your foot, waking up all the muscles in your feet. Waking up the calves. Let's come into first position. Imagine you're zipping up that line, holding your legs together, pressing your heels together, and lifting up as high as you can. And then let's go pigeon-toed. This is the tricky one. My heels always want to migrate back to being parallel feet. Your legs will be apart, but try to keep your big toes together and your heels out. Rolling all the way up onto the entire ball of your foot. And then coming back to parallel legs, sticking one foot out and doing our ankle wiggles. And then rotate and lift. Good. Now let's go to the other side. You need to hold on. It's not a crime. We're just waking up our ankles. So if holding onto something makes it easier to focus on waking up that ankle, might make your balance later a little bit easier. Of course, if you're doing this first thing in the morning, sometimes balance can be a little bit harder. If you're doing it at the end of the day, it could be harder or easier depending on what you've done in your day, how rested you are, how fueled you are, how much work you've done, which movement you've done. Let's hug our knees in, loosening up the hips. And take those into big hip circles. So up and around, trying to keep your hips kind of square, doesn't have to be perfect. But focus on getting that rotation through the hip, not by turning your body. Last set. And we'll go into butt kicks, reach and pull, or do bicep curls, or whatever floats your boat. Just get everything moving on the back of your body. And settle out in a nice wide stance. Let's go side to side. Last one. Come back to center and settle down into that squat. Notice where you're feeling it. Are you getting a stretch in your back, low back? Are you feeling tension or pain? Just glide a little bit, lift yourself up, lower yourself down. Find a position that's comfortable, chest up, eyes up. See if you can sit more upright and feel balanced through your whole feet, through both of your feet. And then bring your hands down and stretch up. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Let all the tension go. And then we're going to sink our hips down and do 5 bottoms up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Walk your feet in. Bring your hands onto your knees. Come up part way. And let's tuck our tailbone, tuck your chin, and then extend. So standing cat-cow. 3, 2 more, 4, and 5. And roll it up. Okay, so we're going to start with a banded box step. So we need a loop band of some sort to put around your ankles. And this is the one where we go, move this out of the way, 4 steps across, 4 steps forward, 4 steps across the other way, and 4 steps backwards. So important notes, we're going to sink down into a partial squat. So you're sitting back and your hips are engaged, and these are the muscles that we're using, right? You're going to feel it here because your quads are holding you, but what's working are your hips. And we're going to step and bring your feet together, but we're not letting the band do that. You want to keep tension on the band. 3 and 4. And we go forward, you're going to march heel to toe, keeping your feet wide enough that you don't lose the tension on the band. And then we're going to go across for 4. 3, 4. And as we go back, you're pressing toe to heel. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to do that 3 more times. Around we go. 3, forward. 2. My hips are burning already. Keep that tension on the band. Stay in that squat. And over. And back. Nice. Last time around for me. You do you. We'll take a little break till everyone's done, and then we'll take a little break so everyone can recover. Over, 2, 3, 4, and back. Really press your heel down. Get that hamstring fired up. Take your legs out. We actually are going to keep using the band, but let's give your legs a little stretch. Let them recover, shake out your hips, do a little dance. And then I'll tell you our first set of exercises is with the band. We're going to be doing single leg squats to bench, everyone's favorite. And we're going to be doing plank play. And we're going to keep the band around our legs. So find your space, set up your space. So we're going to keep the band around your knees because there's something about having that contact on that part of your leg that reminds your hips to engage. So muscles don't have brains, but they communicate, right? There's a ton of nerve endings. You're giving them a signal when the band is there, and that makes the right muscles do the work. I can't explain it any better than that. But we're going to start with your feet under your knees and just warm up this position, pressing through your whole foot, come up, and then hinge, 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 and come down. And see if you can do that without plopping with both legs. You are welcome to add a weight. Okay, so you trust that the bench is, or the seat is behind you, and you got the movement. So hinging and lowering, beautiful. We're going to shift that to single leg, and we're going to take one leg out. So you could have one foot on top of the other. Sometimes that's enough contact to give you the balance. Sometimes having that leg out with the heel down is better. Sometimes you can do it with your leg up. But let's start on our non-dominant side. So I'm going to switch legs. And let's come up to standing. And lower, lower, lower. And up and down. And let's go for anywhere from 6 to 10. If you're doing this after the fact and not live, you can pause the video and do as many as you want. Nice. And 8. Swimming arms are fine. When you're done with one side, let's move on to the other side. Make sure you're not going to trip over your doggies. And then let's go up. And then sink. Nice. And 8. So we're going to keep the band on our legs. Your choice. You'd rather have it for doing a plank around your knees. But we keep it there for this one. The first variation we're going to do is shoulder taps. So if you're doing it on an incline, you'll be out here. The band can be around your feet too. It'll give you the same effect where you're pushing out against the band and using your glutes to help hold you. But our shoulder taps. Why do I feel like I can't get the camera right at all this morning? There we go. You want your legs wide enough that you feel the band. And we're going to do 20 shoulder taps. The goal is to keep your body as still as you can. And when you've done 20, Sink back into child's pose and give your hips and your back a break. And we'll take about a minute here. Take about a minute and we'll go through round 2. So we're going to do all of these 3 times. Oh, let's set up the clock. So 20 more seconds. You can have a seat. You can stretch your hamstrings. And let's get set up. For round 2 of our single leg squats. So sit down first so you know where the bench is when you sit down. Start non-dominant. If you want to add some resistance, more challenge, pull the weight at your chest. And let's hit it anywhere from 6 to 8 or more. 1, 2, 3, 6. And when you get to your number, wherever that is, we'll switch sides. 1, 2, and make sure you're coming all the way up to standing, not stopping part way. Here we go. 3, I catch myself on that too. Hang out for about 15-20 seconds. Our next variation for your plank play, plank pleasure, will be leg lifts. And so core is all about keeping the muscles around the spine active, so your spine stays stable no matter what you're doing. Muscles are always responding, but you want your spine to be stable. That doesn't mean it's fixed in one position. It just means it's getting support, right? So when we're shoulder tapping, your body is going to want to rock all over the place to shift your weight. The stronger your core is, and you can keep your feet a little bit wider, the more you can hold yourself and tap, tap, tap without rocking and rolling. So let's come into a plank. And from here, it's going to give you a little resistance for your hips, which you may or may not enjoy at this point. But we're going to do 20 lifts. So I'll do half of them on the bench and come down half on the floor. Okay, keep tension on the band. On the floor, it's a little bit harder. Hold your balance. A little bit easier when you're moving your legs than when you're moving your arms. Your arms are holding a lot of weight, legs not so much. And when you're all done, beautiful, that looks great. Make those hip muscles work. And whenever you're done, it's perfect. Either come into a forward fold and let your back and your hips stretch, or come down on the floor. And we'll take about a minute, minute and a half. And then we'll do all of these a third time. I'm going to collapse. Here we go. Take that minute, stretch what needs to be stretched. In case you're wondering, first set like this, it's all lower body and core. Our second circuit is all upper body. Those time, play around with it. You've done the move twice now. You might be getting tired, you might not be tired. If you need a heavier band, grab a heavier band. If you need a lighter band, grab a lighter band. It's your workout. If you want weight, add some weight. Give yourself a challenge. How you get stronger. So having a seat, if you're using a weight, it's either one weight, one heavier weight at your chest, or one over each shoulder. Okay, so from here, you're gonna lift up and lower down. And as soon as you feel yourself not able to lower yourself down and you start going flop onto the bench, maybe you're done. Think about it. When you're done, and that's okay. We're in our third set. And when you're ready to switch sides, go ahead and switch sides. Find yourself getting too comfortable when you're sitting down. Maybe that's a cue that your hips are done. Good. And put that weight safely down. And maybe let's move the band to our ankles. For this next one, we're going to put the shoulder taps and the leg lifts together. I call it planking around the world. So do a shoulder tap one side, shoulder tap the other side, leg lift, and see if you can feel how much you have to brace and engage to keep your body from rocking and rolling. So again, we'll do the first half on a bench, incline, shoulder tap, leg lift. That's one. This is two. Each circle is 1, 4, and 5. And then coming down to the floor, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when you're all done, come into child's pose and give yourself a big stretch. Let your hips relax. Doesn't need to be too long a break now because we're switching to upper body, for which we will need a slightly easier band. If you're using the ones I gave you, the yellow or green ones, probably a green one because you guys are all stronger than you give yourself credit for. So we'll be doing banded front and back lat pulls, and we'll also be doing Arnold presses. So we'll need some medium weights, or the weights of your choosing. So check in with your band that you like the tension. I have an alternate band ready if you need it. So we're going to start. I'm going to come down on my knees just so I stay in frame here. So I want the band around your forearms, not around your hands. It puts a lot of torque on your wrists, and not on your watch or right on the joint. So we're going to start shoulder height, and we're going to pull apart. And just get used to this feeling. Fingertips up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to change your position. You're going to reach up and pull down. It's a little hard to pull down when your hands are inside the band. So I lied. We're going to take an overhand grip. Sorry. And pull so you're about shoulder width apart. I'm not quite there. This band is a little tight. We're going to reach up high, pull your ribs down. So we're not doing this to get your arms up. I want your body to stay stacked. We're going to pull down to the front and pull down to the back. 2, 3, get a lighter band if you need it. 4, 5. So ribs stay down, they don't flare out, and think about pulling your elbows in. 7, 8. And it's a double whammy, right? Because we're going right from this into shoulder presses. So let's grab our weights. I'm going to do it from the floor. You can certainly do it standing. Let's rack the weights up. Arnold press, your palms face you. And as you lift up, you reach away. And again, you want those ribs pulled down. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, breathe, and 10. So if you got lighter weights, you might feel like you can go to 12 to 15, maybe not after doing that band work. If you got heavier weights, it's okay if you're doing, and you're like 6, 8, 10, right? You're doing you. I've got medium weights. I was able to go to 10. We'll see if I can do that 3 times in a row. And roll your shoulders. Stretch and stretch. And maybe that cactus arms, right? Get that external rotation. Right. Ribs down, shoulders back. Keep your body stacked. Nice. Grab a drink of water. We'll take another minute because it's shoulder, shoulder. We'll take a little break. Okay. Are we ready? Overhand grip. Anywhere from 6 to 8. You know what it feels like. The important thing with this is as you're pulling down, as you squeeze your elbows in, without the band, just try it. See if you can feel those big muscles in your back firing, bringing your arm inside. That's the muscle group we're working. So when you pull apart and down, we're doing really nice back exercise. So let's start. If you keep your elbows up here and we do this, you're working your shoulders. When we add that elbow tuck or the wing tuck, you're working your back muscles, and that's what we want to get. So reach up, pull down. Of course, when you reach to the back, your elbows aren't going to come in quite as far, and that's okay. Front and back, front and back, doing your best to not pop your chest out. You want to keep your ribs down. Your chest can't help. And one more because I've lost count. And then shake it out. Good work. Swing your arms, get the blood flowing through them. Alrighty. Let's take another 30 seconds, really. Roll your shoulders, get them moving. This is kind of intense. Band work and weight work. Those little ATP regenerate in your muscles. 10 more seconds. Find your weights. We go back to Arnold presses. So hint here is if moving both arms at the same time is too much because your shoulders are tired, alternate. It might take you a little bit longer, but you get that little break in between. That's just enough for your muscles to recover. So let's start here. This is what it would look like if you were alternating, or you can do them both together. Good. You feel a difference? And what that looks like is this is my 8th repetition and my shoulders are tired. If I want to finish or do the whole set this way, it works. You're still doing the work, right? Good. So get to 8 to 10 reps, and we'll take a minute and a half, let your shoulders recover, and we'll do our last round. And then we have some floor work and hamstrings to do. And oh my God, another plank exercise. Can you believe it? Yeah, we're doing planks today, which is hard on your shoulders. You feel it, right? You're supporting yourself. All those muscles are always working. So don't be surprised if you feel a little sore in your serratus and the intercostals tomorrow, because those are when you're hugging your arms in, whether you're doing this or pulling your armpits in when you're holding the plank to engage your chest and your back. It's the muscles that wrap around your ribs that are key players. Okay, let's grab our band. Let's do our last round of our fake lat pull downs, banded lat pull downs. They're not fake. Here we go. They hurt your shoulders. The muscles, they don't hurt the joint. If they hurt your joint, talk to me and we'll find the alternative. But here we are. Pull apart, shoulder width apart, reaching up and down. The back, up and down to the front is 1. Think about pulling those ribs down towards your hips, keeping everything stacked. That's how we get bolder shoulders. 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, last one. And up and back, squeeze it in, up and down, squeeze it in. And swing your arms out. Woohoo! You did it. Very nice. Roll your shoulders. Take the time we need to let your shoulders recover before we do our last set of Arnold's. And then you're down on the floor. What's better than being down on the floor? It doesn't mean it's easier, but at least you're on the floor. You're not fighting gravity at the same time, right? So we're doing all these other things. Okay. Find your weights. Let's alternate to make sure we get a full set in. So if you were doing 8, let's count to 16. Rack your weights. And let's go up for 1, up for 2. Everyone counts. 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, and 16. Beautiful. So yeah, those are named Arnold's after Arnold Schwarzenegger. And what's brilliant about them is not that they were invented or done mostly by Arnold. That rotation is just that much easier on your shoulder joint than doing strict presses that go up and down. We have rotation ability in our shoulders, and that uses it to keep your shoulders safe. It also strengthens that rotational ability. So good to go. So since we're not doing upper body, at least with this first one, we're going to be doing hamstring walkouts. So the first one, we're going to do 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, lower down. And then the second one, we're going to do step pattern, out, out, in. And I think the third one will make marching. So it's kind of a moving hip bridge. Let me move my bench out of the way. And I will meet you down on the floor. And actually, if you feel like using a band, you never know what it might feel like when you get your glutes firing, but we don't have to. So let's set up knees, hips, and ankles all lined up. So we're not out here and we're not here. We want everything in a nice alignment. Palms up, out to the side. Inhale to prepare. Exhale and lift. And we're going to walk our feet out. And lower. Lift and walk. And lower. Exhale and lift. We're going to go for 6 of these. 5. And of course, as you walk your feet out, your hips will lower down. What we want is for your hips to stay level. Doesn't matter if as you walk your feet out, it's just physics, you know, it's angles, your hips are going to lower. But we're not doing this and we're not doing this because one leg's working harder than the other. And up, last one. And lower. Tuck your knees in. So this next plank variation, if you're doing them higher up, like counter level, think about doing them on the arm of a sofa or a chair that's sturdy. Something that's a little bit lower, give you a little bit more challenge, and allow it. We're doing it with a rotation to a side plank. So something that actually lets you feel like you're rolling onto your side rather than turning to the side, which is what it would feel like if you're higher up. So the move we're doing is plank. You can keep your feet wide and then rolling up, coming back down, rolling up, coming back down. If you're feeling like this workout doesn't have enough to it, you can add a push-up, but not necessary. So we're going to go for 8 times on each side. So 16 rotations. And up we go. There's 1, 2. Your feet are turning all the way. 3, 4. 8. 11. 14. Last set. Take your time. When you're all done, come into child's pose and just rest your back, rest your side muscles. Walk your hands out to one side. Let your side body stretch. And then walk your hands to the other side. And let's come back onto our backs. And setting up for our bridge, let's do like 3 side, side, center, and lift, just to see how everything's feeling. And if we're feeling good, We're gonna set up just like we did before. Hips, knees, and ankles all lined up. But instead of walking forward, we're gonna step out to the side with each foot and then back in with each foot. So it'll look like you lift up, out, in, and down. Out, in, and down. And let's go for about 8 sets, 6 to 8 sets, see what they feel like. Lift up, keep your hips stable, out, in, and lower. All done, hug your knees in. Take some deep breaths. And lengthen through your lower back. Let your hips stretch. Maybe make some circles with your knees. Let's roll it over. And we're going to do plank to side plank. Up to 16. If you're done at 12, you're done at 12. Your shoulders might be really tired after everything we've done. So let's hit it. Find your plank. You could do this from your knees, I suppose. But then you want to make sure you're rocking up so you're fully perpendicular, which means your top leg is going to be straight. Come back down onto your knees into your plank. And then roll up again. I think I'd rather see everyone do it from their toes, on an incline or on the floor. When you're all done, come down in child's pose. We're going to stay on the floor. We have one more round. And then let's come on our back, last round. We're going to make these marching. So instead of moving your feet forward, moving your feet out, we're going to stay in one place and just alternate leg lifts. And I want you to focus on engaging so much that your hips aren't rocking all over the place, right? So we're going to brace through the abs. We're going to have those glutes engaged, pressing down through your entire foot. Whichever foot is on the floor, I want the heel and the toes pressing down. And it looks like this. So you're going to lift up, one leg up, the other leg up and down. Let's do about 6 sets of these. Think about finding that posterior tilt to get started. Keep the strain out of your back. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift, and march. Press through your whole foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, And when you're all done, tuck those knees in, make little circles. And while you're here, let's find your rib cage, because it's easy to pull up with your ribs and make your low back do the work. If you're feeling anything in your low back, this is when you might be feeling it. Let's pull those ribs down, but we don't have to press your hips down this time. Let's take your arms up, pull your shoulders down into the floor, and you can feel your hips relax. Maybe your ribs feel like they're pulling down onto the floor. We're going to reach overhead as far as you can, keeping your ribs down, and then come into that cactus arm pose. And then come back up and up. So reach, pull. Maybe we'll do this instead of planking today. So notice that your rib cage might feel like it's relaxing a little bit. You'll reach up and over. Your thumbs may or may not touch the floor. Squeeze the shoulders, open the chest. And last one. Let's hook one knee in, stretch the other leg straight. We're not done yet. We're done with this set. And then let's do same side, switch. Other side, I mean. Same thing on the other side. And let's come up to standing. We have a little finisher, and then we'll have a good stretch. So remember legs? We were working legs earlier. We're coming back to legs. Okay. So check in how everything's feeling. We're going to do our Lowrider finisher, where we move for 20 seconds, stop in a low lunge position for 20 seconds, recover for 20 seconds. So that's a minute on each side, or 40 seconds with a 20-second break. And we're going to do them 3 times. So start one leg forward, one leg back. This leg is doing all the work as the other leg moves. So we'll get going in about 5 seconds, so I can watch the clock and not get confused. 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds, forward lunge, backward lunge. Staying nice and low. Use your arms to help keep you balanced. Nice gait pattern practice. 5 more seconds here. Whoop. And let's hold it in back. Nice low lunge. You're just holding here for 20 seconds. Hips, remember they were working before. That's a good sign. We have 5 more seconds here. And shake it out. We have a 15-second break. 10 seconds. We'll get set up on side 2, but not too soon. Okay, let's get into position. So we're starting back. And let's go 20 seconds here, forwards and back. That leg that's not moving is completely loaded and working the whole time. And rest. Whoops, sorry, no, back foot. Settle in here for 20 seconds. Find that lunge. My mistake, my miscue, sorry. We have 10 more seconds here. Holding, holding, holding. We're gonna do this 2 more times on each side. No, I'll be happy to sit down and go to work. Shake it out. Shake those hips out. We're gonna go back to side 1 in 10 seconds. You can swing your arms. We have 5 seconds. Let's get into position. Whew. And go. 20 seconds here, moving, staying nice and low. 10 more seconds, and then we hold. And let's hold it back. Woo, 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 woo. It's a good time to start thinking up good jokes. Think about something fun you're going to do later in the day. And the hold is over. Shake it out. 20 seconds till we do side 2, round 2. Oh, legs are feeling a little jelly-like. 5 more seconds. Let's get set up on side 2. Get ready, steady, and go. See if it's natural for you to have your opposite arm and leg moving like this. Surprising how many people it isn't. Here we go. 5 more seconds. And hold it back. Stay low. Think of a joke. Think of something fun later in the day. Count to 20. Your choice how you want to use your 20 seconds. It's not too long. It's not like a wall sit for 90 seconds. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. 1 more round. Boo, boo, boo. Pop those hips out. 1 more round to each side. We got this. We got this, we got this. Setting up for side 1, round 3. And we're off. Stay low. Keep that stationary leg working. And hold it back for the last time on this side. Oh my goodness, you got this, you got this, you got this. Smile. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing things that are good for you. I used to think it was corny when people said smile, it makes it easier. Let's come out of this. Shake that leg out. We have 1 more side to go. But you know, when you smile, and we can smile through this whole next one, it actually really does make it easier. It just changes. I don't know how it changes on a molecular level, what it feels like and how your brain interprets it. Let's go back. Last 20 seconds. Stay with me. 15 seconds. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Hold it back for 20. Last time, last time. Smile. We got this. This is the last time you have to do this. We don't do this finisher very often. We are almost done. And we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come out of it. Shake it out. Good job. Whew. Pop those hips out. Make some hula hoops or figure 8s. Whatever feels good. And let's put your foot up on something. Let's stretch out those hammies. I want you facing right over your leg towards your toes. You can reach for them. You can reach for your shin. You can keep your hand on your thigh. You can point and flex. This is your stretch. So stretch what needs to be stretched. Sometimes it feels really good to point your toes. Sometimes it just feels good to pull back. Stay here because we really worked our hamstrings today. Let's stay here another 10 seconds. Keep hinging, keep reaching. And let's switch sides. Side 2. You want to hinge over that hip with a flat back. And then you can round and reach for your toe. And the stretch right back there. You can play around with your foot if you want. I'll stay here another 10-15 seconds. So find something to hold on to if you need it for balance. And let's go for a quad stretch. You can reach with the opposite hand if that's easier. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're getting the stretch from the top of your knee up to your hip. So try reaching, if you have your right leg up, try reaching with your left hand. Your left leg up, reach for your right hand. So it's more of a crosswise thing. There you go, almost. Then we'll do a quick switch. We'll come down on the floor and we'll do it from half kneeling is the other option. So coming down on the floor. Let's squeeze that hip and back, press it forward. And let's add a shoulder stretch. Good. Let's hold it for another 10 seconds or so. Back out of it, and we'll switch sides. Squeezing the booty and back, pressing forward, and then adding a shoulder stretch. So think about pulling the shoulder down away from your ears. We didn't train that way, so let's not stretch that way. We'll all end up hunched up like that. Not very attractive, not very functional either. Hold this for about 10 more seconds. Now let's roll your shoulders. Swing your arms. And the last one, take your shoulders up to your ears intentionally. Inhale and exhale, push it all down. Nice. Up, up. Yeah, let's do that one more time. And we are all done. So if you need more stretching, take the time and do more stretching, but we are done for now, and I'll see you next time.